Hey tribe, good morning, welcome to the Wake Up. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is Moldavite. I've got one of my pieces here, so I've got a few pieces here I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to talk to you about what it is, the sort of scientific properties, the spiritual properties, how to work with it, the benefits of it, all this stuff. So this is the Wake Up. I host the Facebook Live every Monday and Thursday. Wonderful to see you guys, and welcome to the call. Again, my name is Ryan Yokome. I'm a spiritual life and business coach based out of Vancouver, BC, Canada, where it's sunny and beautiful today. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite crystals, which is actually a tektite. It's not a crystal, which is Moldavite. Hey, Heather. Hey, Sylvie. I just replied to your email. Thank you so much for getting back to me. Leslie, Wendy, hi. Okay, so this is going to be a really fun topic. I'm going to give you guys three sort of breakdowns of this. So first we're going to go into sort of how this was actually created, what is it on a scientific level. Then we're going to go into the spiritual attributes on how it can benefit you guys. It's a phenomenal piece to work with. It's absolutely changed my life. And then we're going to go into sort of like what you can do with it on a daily basis and how to sort of work with it. And some of you guys might even have questions on where to buy it and all that kinds of stuff. So really good topic. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. I took the weekend off. It was very awesome. It was like rest and repair, super chill, no social media. It was really awesome. Hey, Vicky. So let's jump right into this training. First of all, if you guys have questions on what Moldavite is or how to use it, or if you have a piece, can you drop me a comment down below? For those of you watching on my YouTube channel, you probably don't see the comments. So just follow along, and I'm not talking to invisible people. There are actually people on the line right now. So let's get started. But if you guys have any pieces, or if you are working with it or you have questions, go ahead and drop me a comment now so I can come back to them in a bit. Okay, today's topic is all on Moldavite. So what is it? So first of all, I have several pieces here. I'm just going to show you guys so you guys can understand. Because it's easier for me to show you than explain. This is the very first piece that I purchased. So if you look at it, let's see if I can get it right there. So this piece was about $100. This piece absolutely transformed my life. I was really nervous to get it, and I'll tell you guys why in a bit. But as you can see, it's hard to tell right here. I'll actually pull my phone up. What's really cool about it is it's glass, but it's also a meteorite. So let me show you guys something interesting about it. So when you shine, hang on, how do I do this here? I don't know why my camera's not working. Hang on. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do that right now, so no big deal. Okay, anyways, when you shine a piece of light on it, it absolutely glows green, and you put it up to the sun, you can see it. So there's the first piece I got, which was about $100. This is the second piece I got. This one here was in Maui. This one I got from Vancouver. So this one right here has really got a lot of juice to it too. This one I got in Paia in Maui. And then this one I got recently at a Gem and Rock show here in Vancouver. If you guys can pick up that. And then this one is another one I got from the dealer, the Gem and Rock show, which is quite a bit bigger. So these pieces were about $150, $200 each, because they're bigger. This one's really gnarly, and if you even look at the back, it's got almost like a spine to it. Pretty wild. And you can see the difference in size between the first one I got and obviously this one. Quite a bit different look, everything. And the latest piece I got, which is kind of the granddaddy, is right here. So if you guys want to pick up the energy of that one. This one was $1,500. It's a museum grade piece. You can see how thick it is. It's actually got a curve to it. Bit of a curve there. And so if you hold it down here when it's darker, you can kind of see it's almost, dark green. But when you hold it up to the light, you guys can see the difference. The sun's beaming right through it right now. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, there's literally one little chip on the top, but other than that, it's a museum quality. So very high grade. So I'll talk about the details on that. So I'm going to put these to the side for now. You guys are enjoying that piece, which has got some kick to it, right? So, yeah, it's actually the most expensive crystal I bought. So the reason why I was nervous to get this, I actually bought this with one of my friends and now client, amazing man Ken, bought this in Vancouver with him because he was already working with Moldavite. So he's actually the one that introduced me to this. So big shout out to Ken. The reason I was nervous on it because it does something what's called the Moldavite flush. So Robert Simmons wrote a book called, I have it right here, Moldavite, Starborn Stone of Transformation. And essentially what it does, and I'll get into this further, is it flushes out some of your fears, your insecurities, any places in your body or life where you're not living in love. It sort of helps you purge it. So let me break down what this actually is on the first part, the scientific part. Heather, really great question. I'm going to come back to that. First of all, it is, nobody actually knows what it is. Most people believe it's a meteorite, but there's no actual scientific proof that that's what it actually is. Some people believe that it is a meteorite. Some people believe it's a comet. There's certain scientists that believe it's another, planet that was like Earth that was destroyed, and that's fragments of it that landed here on this planet. Other people believe it was formed, that it's terrestrial, and it was formed here on the planet somehow through, millions and millions of years. But most people believe it's a meteorite. And so the theory is that one thing that they know on a scientific level, it is about 14.8 million years old, and it's only found in the area of the Czech Republic. So what they believe is that a meteorite came down, and it burnt up through the atmosphere, and so you end up with something solid when it's in space, and as it's coming through the atmosphere, it burns up into a really hot fireball that essentially hits the Earth, and where it hit in the Czech Republic was a fairly sandy area. And so what ends up happening is it hit the Earth, and it spewed back up in liquid. And these little pieces here, the reason they're formed in all kinds of different shapes and sizes is they're the liquid that flew up in the air and that cooled and hardened as it fell back to the ground, which formed this sort of weird glassy kind of shape with these weird little lines in it. So it is actually, on many levels, it is a glass, and it is very familiar with the quartz family because it was obviously all quartz is, sand. So it's just ground up, pressed sand over millions and millions of years, and that's what Moldavite is, a part of it. But you also have the whole part of it that is a meteorite. So you got sort of this half Earth, half, they don't know what it is, piece that's ended up where it is. So that's kind of the scientific purpose of it. You can find it, as I said, in the Czech Republic. There's two ways that they find it. One way is that the farmers can actually, you can go out to a farming field, and sometimes when you come into winter and you come into spring before the crops are planted and growing, and before there's all the greenery growing, you can actually find pieces that will thaw out from when the ice thaws out, and it'll be pushed to the surface, so you can walk on different farmers' fields and actually find them lying there on the ground. But most of those pieces are chipped, or they're not the best quality. Something like this bigger piece, they've excavated. So they've had to actually dig it out. They've had to mine it. And then they've obviously had to get it all cleaned up. So this is something that would have been stuck inside of, some form of earth where it's been hidden for many, many, many years. So keep asking the questions. I'm going to come back to them towards the end of this, and I will go through them. So thank you, guys. So that's sort of the scientific purpose of it. It's a really powerful stone because nobody really knows where it comes from. But one of the things we do know, it has some really crazy spiritual properties, which I'm going to get into right now. There's 4 primary things that Moldavite does. And I've noticed this in my life. My life has 100% transformed in the last 3 years of working with it. I mean, spiritually, I'm more connected than I've ever been in my entire life, more in alignment with my purpose and passion than I've ever been, making more money than I've ever made in my entire life, and it just keeps growing and accelerating. Deepening my relationships, my unity, my connection, my love. I released a lot of fears. There's this huge transformation that happens. And you move into this place of total empowerment to serve and help other people. So the 4 properties are this. 1 is it is a stone of transformation. So any fears that you have, what Robert talks about is the Moldavite flush. Any fears, Any insecurities, let's say you're not dealing with things in your relationships, let's say you're not looking at your bills, let's say that you're not happy with your health or your weight, let's say you're not where you want to be financially and you're struggling paycheck to paycheck, let's say you live in a vibration of fear or overwhelm or confusion, or you have self-doubt or you lack confidence, it will essentially help you bring those fears to the surface, and it will help you integrate them so you can release them and move on. Now, when it says the Moldavite flesh, people have different experiences. Some people actually get sick when they first start wearing it or using it. Some people, when they place a piece in the palm of their hand, they can feel it vibrating. They can feel it heat up. They can feel it actually get hot. People who have no interest in crystals, don't believe in them, think it's all bullshit. I've put pieces in their hands and they're like, holy crap, it's actually heating up my hand. And one of the reasons it heats up your hand is it activates your heart chakra. And I'm going to get into this. This is the third thing that it does. I'll get into that in more detail. So that's one of the reasons people can feel it actually get hot. So it's a stone of transformation. That's the first part, is if you want to accelerate your spiritual path in this lifetime, and you want to go get into alignment with your purpose and passion, it will help you do that. And it will help you do it very fast. So my recommendation is only get a piece. Linda, what stone is it? It's called Moldavite. Only get a piece if you're ready to make some changes in your life. If you're not ready to make some changes, don't get it, because they happen really, really fast. It's an accelerator. So that's first and foremost, but it's really good, because once you break free through that, your life starts to completely transform. Second thing that it does, it gets you into alignment. So if you don't know what you're here to do on this planet, you will start to have synchronicities show up in your life where things start to click and things start to make sense, and you will get into becoming very clear what your purpose is. Different experiences will come into your life and things will start to happen where you'll actually start living your purpose and passion. The reason it does this with transformation and with alignment is this stone is the vibration of creative source. My personal belief is essentially it's God in a stone. Or a crystal, or what's called a tektite, right? Because it's a meteorite. So, or at least they say it is. So the vibration of the stone is a very high vibration. It activates your crown chakra, it activates your pineal gland, your third eye, it opens up the upper chakras. It's also known to, obviously I'll get into the third part, open up your heart chakra, but it's also known to clear out your root. So if you have a lot of challenges with limiting beliefs, fears, and being in survival mode, it will help you purge that if that's what you need. In essence, what it is, the vibration of the stone is the core creative essence of the highest vibration of humanity. And so what it does is if there's any parts of you that are out of alignment in fear, it goes to work in your body, it goes to work in your aura field, it goes to work with your mindset, with your beliefs, everything. And it helps realign you with a higher vibration of love and connection. And so any parts of you that it's like, oh, that's not congruent, like that's part of you that's living in fear, it will go to help you process that part because of the stone's vibration. Chris, yes, thank you for the hat, brother. Christopher Ong is our lovely and amazing BMW friend who hooked us up with our 435. Big love, brother. Okay, third part. This stone, I'm going to come back to the first one. It opens up your heart chakra. It not only opens up you, there's another purpose of Moldavite. The initial purpose that I found is it started opening me up to, Chris says when I started working this, she calls it like, you guys seen the movie The Grinch? You know, when the Grinch heart grows like 5 times the size or whatever it was before, and he starts giving back to the village of Whoville. That's kind of what happened to me. I was very in my head before, and it just opens up your heart. It opens up your connection and love for it within yourself. It just cracks your heart chakra wide open. And then when I noticed I felt such immense, deep love, I actually found myself grieving many times throughout like a week or a month out of just sheer joy, just happiness, not pain or sorrow or sadness, just happiness and joy and love. And then what I found is what it does, and this is the next step, is it starts to help you see that the whole world is connected with one. It helps you see that, gives you a different perspective on living in unity and helping other people. And sort of this is the way that it's opened up for me, for my coaching business, is to meet people in non-judgment, have compassion for people, love and serve and help people. It opens you up to a broader perspective of helping people all around the world and unify. And if you guys are enjoying this video, please share it. please share away for anyone that feels that they need it. That's the third part. And the fourth part that it does, this one's kind of out there, but it connects you with extraterrestrials. So it connects you with different dimensions, different vibrations, higher vibrations. Some people believe on a spiritual level it comes from Pleiades, from the Pleiadian culture, which is a whole different part of a whole different video for this. But what I'm going to say is, for me personally, what happened with me is I connected with my guide, which I call Faith, and I have actually a whole council of guides that I can connect with in meditation. And it all happened from using Moldavite. So when I created the soul wealth method that we teach through our school of soul wealth, I channeled that through my guide Faith, and I was able to do it with Moldavite and Lemurian crystals. So when I went back, actually, we're doing a month on choice and commitment this month right now in School of Soul Wealth, and we just are having the first call today. So I went back and read our coursework that I channeled many months ago, and it was like I didn't even write it. I read it last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels like it wasn't even me who wrote it, because it came from such a high vibration. So very few of you will use it for that purpose. A very small percentage of people will, but it does. The other thing you can do that Chris and I do is sometimes, we'll tape it to our third eye when we go to sleep. Kind of weird, but I know it's so strange, and we're kind of woo-woo like that. But when we go to sleep, the only thing is we don't get good sleeps when we do, but you have the craziest dreams. So what ends up happening, you're very active in your dreams. So you don't get the best sleep because you're doing a lot of stuff in your dream state. That's pretty cool. So those are kind of the four properties of it. Again, it's not going to do the work for you. So my recommendation, a good analogy that Robert gives is it's kind of like an electric saw. If you're going to build a house, you can use a regular handsaw, or you can use an electric saw. An electric saw is much faster. It's kind of like, I use the analogy of, you can use high-speed internet, or you can use dial-up. They're still going to do the same thing. One does it way, way, way faster. It's the same thing. If you want to get into alignment, you want to clear your fears, you want to live your purpose and passion, you want to help more people in the world, and you want to move into the highest version of you in this lifetime, it will help you accelerate that as long as you're still doing the work. The other thing that I'll say really quick, this is important because some people will tell me that their Moldavite isn't doing anything. Moldavite will do two things. If you're not into it, if you pick up a piece and you buy it and you're not working with it, or you're just like, whatever, we'll see what it does, like you're waiting for it to do something for you, it can go dormant because they're all little entities. Now you have to remember, if it came from, this is also important, if it came from a meteorite, the piece of which you get of the Moldavite is important where it came from the meteorite. Because if you're getting a piece from the center, it's going to have a lot more amplified energy compared to if you're getting a piece from the outsides of the meteorite. Also, it's important to remember that the way Moldavite works is the highest amount of power, energy, is in the core of the piece. And then the core of the piece, what it does is it emanates the energy outwards. So it exists in an aura field around the piece. So you always want to focus on connecting with the center of the piece. The size of the piece really doesn't matter, my personal opinion. The shape of the piece doesn't, some people will tell you it does. Some people will say you want a round shape, so it distributes the energy evenly. This obviously is a rectangular shape. It really, to me, doesn't matter. What matters is that you connect with it. So you could go into a store, like when I go into a store and there's, let's say, 20 pieces of Moldavite, I will let myself be guided to which piece I resonate with the most, because that's the piece I need. But that might not be the piece you need. So you want to choose the piece that resonates with you the most, and then you can work with it. Then it won't go dormant on you. Now, the other thing it will do is, if you want to work with it, but you're just like resisting it, what it will do, it will just like, through the law of attraction, it will bring in very, very rapidly shit you're resisting. Massive amount of fears. Things you wouldn't want to look at for years, it will bring them into your life so you can deal with it. So it's really, really cool, but it will help you process that quickly. It's a powerful stone, guys, so just make sure if you're going to get it, make sure you're ready for it. So let me come back to the questions. Laura, what do you do if it goes dormant? Go back to it, and the first thing you want to do is, these are not charged under the moon. They do not cleanse underwater. What you want to do is you want to put them in the sunlight. The core essence of these were created in fire. So you want to put them under the sun. That's where they'll charge and they'll release negative energy. So first put it in the sunlight to get it going, and then come back to it and connect with it. You want to give it love. You want to give it attention, and then it'll give you love and attention in return. And Chris's went dormant on her for about a year, and she knew it did, and so I said, you got to kick it up. So she went back to doing that, and now it's up and running, and it's pretty cool what's going on. Okay, let me come back to the questions, guys. There's a whole lot of you guys on the line today, and I hope you guys are enjoying this information. I'm going to give you a resource towards the end of this video. Actually, I'm going to give you the resource right now, because I'm going to do Q&A for about 5 minutes or so. So let me just flip this around. Here's a book that I recommend if you want to learn more about it. I just finished reading it. It's a really amazing book. It's by Robert Simmons and Kathy Warner. These two stumbled into Moldavite in the early 80s, and they are out of everyone in the United States, they have the highest amount of Moldavite. There's a few other people across the world that have, I think, more than them. They have a very, very large selection. The book is fascinating. It talks about unity and love and archetypes and shadow work and what Moldavite does on a deeper level. It's really, really cool. I think there's only 2 books written on Moldavite in the whole world. It's not a very well-known stone because, for the most part, the reason most people don't know about it is because of our level of consciousness. 50 years ago, no one would have been really talking about this because there's no way, for one, we would have been able to handle its energy, and 2, no one really understood on a mass consciousness level unity and love and moving out of fear. I mean, a few people, but not that many. Okay, so let me come back to some questions really quick. Heather said, I read that it was very high vibrational. I'm very in tune with my crystals already, but I need a little concentrated because I read that it made it seem like it was way too powerful of a stone. I understand. Yeah, it is a really powerful stone. So sometimes, like, when I have another piece. I don't know if I have it in my pocket. Yeah, I do. I wear it as a pendant. So this is another piece I have that I got from Sedona, which has got a lot of juice too. So I actually wear it in a pendant around my heart chakra, so it hangs here. And when I first got it, I couldn't keep it on all the time because it was just like too intense. But your vibration adjusts to it. One of the things you can do is you can pair Moldavite with other crystals. So if you find it's too intense, you could pair it with, say, working with a rose quartz, which will be a calming, more soothing, more heart-based energy. Or you could pair it with a piece of black tourmaline, which will ground the energy in. You can pair it with different crystals. You can pair it with a Herkimer diamond, which will actually enhance the energy. And when I pair it, means you could just meditate with it, holding it, one crystal in one hand, the other crystal in the other hand. Or you can get pendants made that they actually have the 2 pieces on them. But you can always pair it to help tone down the energy. A lot of people, too, is they just work with it in moderation until they get comfortable with the vibration of it, because it is a very high vibrational stone. The other thing that I'll say is if you're working with it and you're new to it, it's going to illuminate your upper chakras. So usually after a meditation or just having it, holding it, you want to ground. So put it aside and maybe ground like with a black piece of tourmaline, wash your hands. And one of the best ways to ground is actually just eat. So if you drink some water, eat some food, it'll help you bring you back down to earth, because you want to take whatever growth is happening up here and you want to learn to like ground it into the physical body, into your physically showing up on the earth, or else you're just going to like float to space and, I've done that. It's fun, but you really don't get shit done here on earth. Farrah's wearing her now. Awesome. Let me just go through some other questions. Where can you get them? I really recommend that you guys Google local crystal or metaphysical stores in your area, even if it's a 30-minute, 2-hour drive away. Just go and check it out. You can buy some online. I mean, a really safe source would be just Google Robert Simmons Moldavite. I think his company is called Heaven and Earth. You can buy it online there. But I really would be. I've never bought any pieces online because there's a lot of fake pieces coming out of China, because they form it out of glass and they make it look like it's real when it's really not. So I would recommend you actually find it in person and feel into it. Linda says, I wear my Moldavite pendant every day. I was amazed when I first got it, the vibration, deeper connection during meditation, and my other pieces under my pillow. Awesome. Bridget, wow, I'm definitely ready for this stone. I may have missed it, but do you recommend a daily ritual with it? Yeah, over time, easing into it, I meditate with mine every day, and then I'll just just to have it on you in your aura field is really powerful too. So it just, if you're open to it, it just works magic in your life. It'll push you out of your comfort zone. So you don't even necessarily need a ritual. You just have it on you. Just having it, holding it, having it in your pocket, having a pendant of it, keeping it around you when you're working by your computer, that sorts of stuff. Unless it's going too fast for you, then you can, maybe put it aside for now and just work with some grounding stones. Tina, perfect. Yeah, give it a shot. Okay, last few questions, then I gotta go. What's that, Heather? My black tourmaline recently broke in half on its own. I've heard that's happened. That happened with a few people that I've worked with, a few of my clients, where, yeah, they'll do crazy things. Tourmaline is interesting. Wendy, really great question. Does it do anything to health, chronic disease? I mean, their stories are yes. So, a really good story is there was a woman who was pregnant, and she had a tumor on her. Where did she have a tumor? I can't remember. I can't remember what was in her body. But there was an issue where they didn't want to do the surgery and remove the tumor because, she's pregnant. So they didn't want to run that risk of putting her through surgery. So a healer came by, and they actually used a piece of Moldavite, and they placed it over this tumor. And literally within the next day, she had this huge discharge. And then the next day, they went back to the doctor. And the doctor's like, I don't know what you did, but it's barely there anymore. So because the vibration of the stone is so high, you can use it for healing. Jordan, it's Moldavite. The description's in the bio, which I think you might have some pieces, but you would love it. You would so love it because you're a high vibe girl. But yeah, a lot of healers use it for healing as well. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal piece. Sylvie, awesome. Jordan, yeah, that's perfect. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this call, guys. I got to take off this Facebook Live. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please share away with everybody. If you have any questions for me about these pieces, you can drop me a comment down below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, everyone, for tuned in today. And if you're pulled to go get a piece, I highly recommend a piece. And my only thing I would say for you is I said a lot of stuff today. And so you might have expectations on what the stone will do, the crystal will do. Just give up your expectations and just come in with beginner's mind. And just, if you're going to buy a piece and just see what happens. And just be open-minded with it and see where it takes you and what opens up. The only thing I'll recommend in buying a piece is just make sure, one, you're ready for it, even if it's kind of scary, but you feel it's right for you. And two, make sure you pick the piece that you resonate with the most. It will actually choose you because each piece of Moldavite has its own personality. So you have to make sure some are real intense, some are laid back, some work in different ways. So you got to connect with its energy. And usually what people find is the piece you get, it'll stay with you for quite a long time until it's time to move on. But it will work with you to get you on your path and live your higher purpose. So I hope this helps, guys. I love you. Thank you for tuning in to The Wake Up. And I will see you guys for the Thursday episode of The Wake Up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Love you, and talk to you very soon.